Hi guys, this is Mike at Tablet Byte, and today we're going to take a quick look at two 9.7-inch tablets, and this is the HP TouchPad, and next to it we have here the Apple iPad 2. And these are not really competitors these days because the HP TouchPad, like you know, it's way cheaper than the Apple iPad 2, and this one initially it went for $499, which is the same as the iPad 2, but then it gets severely discounted, and you could get it for like $99 or $149 based on storage options. So, however, they come with similar screens, and both have kind of unique operating systems, and that's why probably some of you might be interested in seeing which one is actually better. And we're going to start with the exterior. You can see that both of them come with a front-facing display. It's a 9.7-inch screen with 1024 by 768 pixel resolution, 4:3 aspect ratio, and an IPS panel, so they should be pretty much on par. And in terms of size, we have them right here, and let's go ahead and see which one is actually bigger. And let's have it like this, one on top of the other. And I would say that the touchpad is a little bit longer and actually a little bit wider. The touchpad is a little bit wider. Kind of difficult to show you this here, but you can see that the touchpad is just a tad wider, so they're overall pretty much the same in terms of height and width. However, in terms of height, actually in terms of thickness, the touchpad is severely thicker than the iPad. This one goes for like 9 millimeters, and this one for like 14 millimeters. So it's 50%, at least 50% thicker, the touchpad. Also, in terms of weight, while this one weighs only 1.33 pounds, this one goes for 1.60 pounds, so that's 20% more. And you're going to feel this, especially if you want a tablet that you're going to carry with you around pretty much all of the time and use it with only one hand. So holding it like this, definitely the iPad is a more comfortable pick. However, when using it with two fingers, I don't really like the fact that the iPad has these sharp edges, and it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, while on this other side, this one with round edges will be more comfortable to hold like this. And in terms of build quality, you can see that the iPad comes with the aluminum finish, and this one comes with the plastic finish, and it's glossy and will catch fingerprints and scratches and dust quite easily. Neither of them actually offers that many ports and connectors. On the front face, both feature the screen, like I said, and there's this home button here. Definitely the home button is better on the iPad because it's bigger and round, while on this one it's rectangular like this, and it will be more difficult to press. And on top you have, of course, a camera for video calls and for chatting. On the back, the iPad also comes with a camera. It's still a pretty poor camera. Images are going to be quite poor, but it shoots 720p clips, while the HP lacks completely a camera here on the back. Now let's go ahead and compare the two in terms of ports. And on the top, what you have is pretty much the same: headphone jack, microphone, and power button. Headphone jack, microphone, and power button. Of course, overall build quality seems a lot better on the iPad, but the HP will do okay. It's not really that bad. Still, buttons are a little bit flimsy, as you can see here, so not really the best. And let's go ahead and pull them like this. And on this side, what you have on the iPad is the screen lock and the volume rocker. On this one you have the volume rocker as well, and this particular slot that houses the serial number and the identity details for this particular tablet. Not sure if they needed that. On the bottom, on the iPad, you have the docking connection and the single mono speaker on this one, and on the HP TouchPad you have a micro HDMI standard connector. Well, on this part, which should be the bottom, I guess, on the iPad you have absolutely nothing, while on this one you have some good speaker actually with Beats technology, Beats by Dr. Dre technology, and they're quite good, and this technology will actually be quite useful if you're going to connect a pair of speakers to this particular tablet. Overall, I feel that the screen is a little bit more shinier than the one on the iPad as well, and that's going to be a problem when using it outside, and also feel like this one catches smudges a little bit easier as well, so that's going to be a bit of a problem. Now, opening these two devices, let's go ahead and open them. You can see that this one is running WebOS, and this one is of course running Apple's iOS, and we're not going to get into many details here about the two operating systems. I will show you though a couple of the basic stuff for both of them. However, first I wanted to show you that the screen on the iPad is definitely brighter than the screen on the HP TouchPad, and for that we're going to open a browser, and let's go ahead and go to Google and search for Earth and see what we got on images. Search here for Earth, and let's try and find the same picture. Should be similar, this one and this one, full size, and you saw that it's loading faster on the iPad than it is on the HP TouchPad. So it's already loaded on the iPad. Still have to wait on the touchpad, and we have the picture here, and you can see that the brightness is better on this one. Now colors are a little bit screwed up by my camera, but both display colors pretty much great. Both of them are actually very good displays. However, this one on the iPad, it's slightly better in terms of brightness. And here are the viewing angles, like this, and both feature IPS panels, so they're both quite nice here. And once again you can see the brightness on this one. So those were the things I wanted to show you about the screen. Now let's actually get back with the OS. So this one runs iOS 4. It's not actually 5 yet, because 5 is not yet available for end users, and this one runs WebOS 3.0.2. So both come with their own particularities. This is not going to be a comparison between the two OSs, but we'll go ahead and show you just a couple of basic stuff. Both come with browsers, and they're quite good. Let's go ahead and actually compare loading time for these two. And if you're up here, let's compare the keyboard. You can see that the keyboard on the iPad is a little bit thicker, higher actually, and keys are a little bit bigger. They're square, while this one they're rectangular. However, the keyboard on the on WebOS, on the touchpad, comes with these extra rows of numbers, and it's going to be quite useful. Overall, I like the keyboard a lot. The keyboard on the on the touchpad, and it's probably one of the best keyboards you can find on tablets right now. As for loading time, I'm going to open the same site, and let's see which one loads it faster. My money are on the iPad. It's done on the iPad, and only now it's done on this one as well. So definitely this one is brighter, I said, and both are quite easy to use. You get pinch to zoom and scrolling. However, there is one big difference, and let me go ahead and find one particular clip that has one particular post that has an embedded clip. So it's done on this one. Now it's done on touchpad as well. And scrolling, and you saw this both can play Flash, because this one because this is a YouTube clip, and YouTube clips on the iPad are offered with HTML5, sorry, streaming, embedding, and this is nice. However, the this browser, you know that it doesn't support Flash, while the browser on WebOS supports Flash, and you can easily get this one, change quality, get to 720p and stuff like this, which is actually quite nice. But there is one thing: you can only watch content, Flash content on this one in a particular angle. So, like this. Okay, let's go ahead and finish with this. There are a couple of other things I would like to tell you about these two operating systems, and while we're not going to focus exclusively on them, because there are clips that compare WebOS to iOS. Still, first of all, there are some of the basic stuff. As you probably know, neither support customizations and widgets. On iPad, all you can do is add icons. Whenever you're going to install a particular app, a new icon will be added to the home page, and then if you want to delete it, just have to press like this, and you can easily delete it. Press the X and it will delete it. And you can also move the icons around, and you can group them together in some kind of folders like this. On the WebOS, on the other side, you can't do anything like this. All you can do is adjust the icons you have here on this bar, but you can only have up to 5 different icons, and neither has any widgets, stuff like this, like the ones you find on Android. On the other hand, you have this thing on WebOS, which is quite nice because it allows you to quickly adjust screen brightness and quickly get access to some of the most important functions like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, turn rotation lock on and off, stuff like this. And next to it you have the notification system, which is excellent on this OS. Over here on the top you have a small bar that will tell you whenever something new happens. For instance, whenever there's a new mail or some kind of piece of software that will get updated, or if you run some kind of if you run music, if you're listening to music, you're going to have here a quick notification that will tell you all this. However, on this one, you probably know that notifications are highly intrusive. You will get some kind of pop-up in the middle of the screen whenever you get a new message or a new mail, depending on the settings you're going to have on your iPad. So definitely the notification system is a lot better on the WebOS. In fact, I believe it's the best you can get on a tablet right now. We showed you browser and through the keyboard. I'm going to show you some of the other important apps that are pre-installed on these particular devices. First of all, the emailing client. You can see that this tablets both feature a kind of similar emailing layout with 3 columns here and 2 columns here, but you can easily adjust the one on the iPad like this. Still, in order to adjust it, you have to press this particular icon here on the back. You can't really adjust it if you're going to scroll like this. You can't adjust this way. And on this one, it's as simple as this. You have the email, the inbox here, and if you're going to get back, you have here all your directories. You can select a specific directory and then you have the email here. So there are only 2 columns, while on this one there are 3 columns. You have the first column, the one you have on iPad here, and then if you're going to select a specific inbox, for instance this inbox, going to open you that inbox, and here you're going to have the messages displayed like this, and then you can easily get them bigger and full screen, or smaller, stuff like this. So excellent. And one more thing, on the HP, you can easily add a bunch of other email clients. For instance, right now we only have Google, and we have a centralized inbox for all of them, and then you have here the inbox for Google. But if you would add some others, like an Exchange server or Yahoo email, you have all these accounts here, and you could view them all together or separately. So I like the emailing client better on the HP TouchPad. Plus, on each email, you have a bunch of extra features. You can mark them as spam, and you can mark them as unread, which is something you don't have here on this particular one, which is quite poor. And there's this other small arrow that will allow you to surf between your latest emails. So this is something quite nice. So that was the emailing client. Let's go back and have a look at the messaging program. You know that on this one you have messaging software that allows you to group together all kind of applications, including MSN and Yahoo Messenger, and I believe Skype. On this one you don't. You have to download separated applications for all of them, and of course you have FaceTime, and you can use that as well. So this one is kind of like a centralized application, but you can't actually add all the messaging options you would need. For instance, Facebook messaging, that would have been quite nice. You don't have that one, but otherwise it's actually quite nice. And right now you can see that I have my Google and my Yahoo accounts together, and I'm going to have done, and I'm going to have all my contacts here from both of those networks, or at least they should. Let me go ahead and see if I'm available. It says that I don't have anybody online, which is quite weird, but I should. Perhaps I was signed off, but right now I'm signed in. And here are my buddies, and I can easily go ahead and talk to them. And there is this one, conversation. This is how it looks. This is how conversations look, and actually quite nice. And it says here that I'm on Yahoo, and I was talking to this particular person. And if you want to type something, just get the keyboard on and we'll be ready to go. So messaging definitely better on this one. Now there are some others. There are YouTube. You don't have a particular YouTube app on this one, while on the iPad you have a YouTube app, but the thing is, this one redirects you to the browser, and browser offers you all the things you need in order to run properly this YouTube clips. And let's search for the 1080p HD video, and this one. In the YouTube app on the iPad, you can you can select between normal quality and high quality content, while this one you can easily you can manually select between 360p, 480p, 720p and 1080p, and both will this one will be able to run up to 720p content flawlessly, and sometimes 1080p, while this one will run standard high quality content, which I'm not sure, but I think it's a little bit under 1080p in terms of quality and details. So this is how things will look here. You can see that colors are quite nice on both these screens. Of course, we have the sound off on both of them, and yes, the interface is easier to use on the iPad. You can just pinch and zoom like this, while on this one you have to press the tiny arrow here in order to go full screen or back to standard. So that this is the way it looks, YouTube on both of them. So no standard application on this one, but that's not a problem because you can watch all kind of YouTube content, as well as some other flash streaming services available out there. And there are maps, and this one uses Bing Maps, while this one uses Google Maps. Not really sure if one is better than the other. That's up to you to decide based on what you're going to need. But I find them both don't allow now. I found them both pretty accurate and pretty good services, so if you need the maps, both are going to be okay. Still, for both you're going to need a wireless access in order to have access to all of their features. You can't really use them offline like you can on, I don't know, some other services. And those are pretty much all the basic apps. Effects, no, there are some more. Let me show you music. You have music on this one, and on this one you have the iPod app. They look pretty much similar. If you can see that this one is inspired by this one. There is one nice thing on this one, just have to press play. Let's have a little bit of sound here. So if you're going to press play on this one, and then you're going to, I don't know, if you want to play a game, you can't. Or if you want to open browser, you can do that. But if you want to play a game or something like this, you can't really do it. Well, on this one you can. And now in this particular app, if you want to quick access the iPod, you have to double press this and slide like this. You have this controls. Well, on this one it's a lot easier. Let me pause this and play a song here. And besides the multitasking part, for instance, we're here on maps. If you want to change the clip, the track you're playing, it's quite easy. You have here the notification system, so it's actually excellent. While on this one it's a little bit more complicated and more difficult to use. And let's go ahead and speak a bit about video content. So you have the video app here. It's called Photos and Videos, and it will automatically connect to all the accounts you have on your computer and drags photos and videos from Facebook, from Dropbox, from all these accounts you're going to sync on the computer. And both show photos in a similar way. On the iPad you have different applications for photos and videos, and these are a couple of pictures. Not really sure what I should show you. That's the way pictures look on this particular device. While on this one, you're going to have them pretty much similar interface. So both are great for viewing this kind of content. While on videos, you have a different application for videos, and let me find it. It's going to be, sorry, not like this. Let me find my videos application. Okay, it's right here. While on this one is the same, and on both you will get your content on. On the iPad, you know, you have to use iTunes. On this one you don't. You just connect it to a computer to show like an external drive, and you copy your content. Still, in my case, I've copied okay, it's over here. I copied a bunch of different types of files, and only some of them are available, which are the 1080p and 720p MOV and MP4 files. So there are some NKVs in there and some WMVs. They're not watchable. And on this one, only the 720p MOV and the 720p MP4 files were copied. Otherwise, iTunes won't let you copy those files if it knows you can't play them. And let me go ahead and play this particular clip, which is actually the same one. And you're going to see that on both you can play this clip flawlessly. And colors are great on both of them. So you can use both of these tablets for 720p MOV content. And I can't say that one plays them better than the other. However, there is one difference. This one can also play 1080p. And we have here, so we have here the 1080p MOV file. And you're going to see that it will be able to play this. It takes a little bit of time to load. Sometimes performances can get sluggish on the HP TouchPad, but otherwise it can play this particular type of content. Well, on this one you can't even do it. Seems that okay. So this is 1080p MOV, and it's playing. It's working. You can see there are no skipped frames, and the sound is okay as well. Okay, so last but not least, there's this part with there's this part when we talk about third-party apps, and of course you know that on iTunes you have actually on Apple's App Store you have tons of applications specially made for the iPad, while on this one HP has its store, but you have virtually no useful applications. So besides the standard one, the one for WebOS are pretty poor, and they're actually, most of them are not going to be of any use at all. Okay, so those are pretty much all the things I wanted to tell you about the OS. More details, like I said, in WebOS versus iOS comparisons. Bottom point, both are good for standard stuff. This one is better for third-party apps, for games, and of course the iOS is it's a little bit more intuitive and works a little bit better, while this one, WebOS, has some bugs. Sometimes it's sluggish. And last but not least, WebOS was cut off, so it's not going to be developed anymore, while for iOS you can expect improvements and upgrades in the near future. I will tell you a couple of things about battery life. This one, as you probably know, the iPad comes with like 10 hours of average battery life for continuously video streaming and everyday use. And this one will get you probably around 7 to 8 hours, so definitely you get 20-25% less on the touchpad, but overall both offer enough battery life, so you'll be able to use them for an entire day, almost while running pretty much all the apps you would need on them. Both charge in about 2.5 hours, which is quite decent as well. And in terms of pricing, like I said, right now the iPad still starts at $499, while this one starts at $9,900. Sorry, at $99, no, $9,900, and it's an excellent price. But it's not available in stock anymore. It will be sometimes in the future, probably going to be available as well, as HP said they're going to fulfill all the current pre-orders and maybe bring some extra touchpad as well on the market by the end of the year. And overall, if you're going to compare the two, of course the iPad is the better pick, because it has access to vastly superior App Store, and it's in fact the best App Store for a tablet you can find right now. It's better at Android market. You have thousands of applications and most of them are useful. Of course you have games as well, and you can play all kinds of content and get access to all kinds of video and multimedia content. On the touchpad you don't have all these applications, you don't have games, you only have the basic standard application, and they're quite okay. You have the browser, and you have the emailing, the messaging program. You can play video content including 1080p, which you can't play on this one. You can't play in 1080p on the HP TouchPad, on the Apple iPad 2. So for basic stuff, touchpad is okay. As an all-rounder tablet, the iPad is probably the better pick. Okay, that was it for now. For more details you should come on the site on tabletbuy.com, and you will find there more details on this particular tablets, a comparison between the two, and of course information on pretty much all the tablets available right now on the market. So once again, tabletbuy.com. And of course, if you liked our clip, please subscribe and press thumbs up. Thank you. That was Mike at tabletbuy.com with the Apple iPad 2 here and the HP TouchPad here on the right.